Nobody saw it coming. That is the thing about Bad Bunny that keeps the whole world on its toes. You think you know what to expect. You think you have figured out his moves, studied the pattern, predicted the set list. And then he walks out on that stage and does something that stops every single person in that building dead in their tracks. That is exactly what happened tonight at GelreDome in Arnhem, Netherlands on June 24, 2026. The man pulled out Difícil, a deep cut straight from his GelreDome era, and performed it as the exclusive song of the night. Just like that, one night only, a gift that will never be repeated on this tour. And if you were not in that stadium tonight, then you missed it forever. Welcome to Pop Showroom, where we bring you the stories behind the headlines. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because this story goes deeper than anything you've seen in the mainstream media. Let that sink in for a second. This is how the Debí Tirar más Fotos World Tour works. At every single show, somewhere deep into the night, after Monaco rattles the whole venue and the crowd is already at its absolute limit, Bad Bunny drops a surprise. There is a countdown on the giant screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then a voice announces that what is about to happen will never happen again on this tour. Not tomorrow night, not in London, not in Paris, not anywhere. One city, one night, one song. Tonight, the Netherlands got Difícil, and the place went absolutely crazy. To understand what this moment really means, you have to understand the song itself. Difícil isn't some throwaway track. This is a reggaeton banger from 2020, off one of the most important albums Bad Bunny ever made, GelreDome, which translates to something close to I Do Whatever I Want. And that album title says everything about who this man is. He does not follow rules. He does not ask for permission. He built his whole career going against the grain and making moves nobody expected. And tonight was just another example of that energy in its purest form. The song itself is raw, direct, and full of that classic Benito swagger. It is the kind of song that hits you in the chest the moment you hear those opening bars. When it dropped tonight inside GelreDome, the crowd lost it. People who thought they already knew the whole set list by heart were suddenly screaming at the top of their lungs, completely unprepared for what their ears were hearing. And the venue itself made this moment even more electric. GelreDome in Arnhem is not a small club. This is a massive indoor stadium, one of the most famous event venues in all of the Netherlands. It holds tens of thousands of people, and tonight, every single one of those spots was filled. The atmosphere in that place had been building for hours before the show even started. Fans came from all over, not just from the Netherlands, but from Germany, Belgium, France, the UK, and beyond. Some even flew in from the United States specifically for this tour because Bad Bunny made a decision earlier that sent shockwaves through the entire music industry. He chose not to perform in the US this time around. His reason was clear, and he said it directly. In September 2025, he stated publicly that the anti-immigration raids carried out by ICE made it impossible for him to stand on American soil and perform as if everything was fine. So he turned his back on the most lucrative market in the world and took his show everywhere else. Europe became the new epicenter. Arnhem became one of the most important stops on the map. That decision alone changed the energy surrounding this entire tour. When an artist of Bad Bunny's size says he will not come to you, you go to him. And that is what people did. American fans booked flights, planned trips, coordinated with strangers online, and showed up in Arnhem, Netherlands at a stadium they had never heard of 6 months ago, just to be in the same room as Benito. That kind of dedication tells you everything about the level this man is operating at right now. This is not just a concert tour, this is a movement. This is a cultural moment that people will talk about for the rest of their lives, and the exclusive song tradition is the heart of why every single night feels different and urgent and unmissable. Think about what the exclusive song concept does to the experience of being a fan on this tour. It creates a scarcity that money cannot buy. You cannot stream a live performance. You cannot recreate the moment of standing in a packed stadium when a song you were not expecting suddenly fills the air around you. The only way to own that experience is to be there, and once the night ends, it's gone. Bad Bunny has been doing this at every stop, and each city gets its own moment, its own song, its own memory that belongs to them and nobody else. Medellin got its surprise, Buenos Aires got its surprise, Tokyo got its surprise, and now Arnhem got La Difícil. The Netherlands got their moment, and they will carry it forever. Now let's talk about what this tour has already been, because the Debí, Tirar más Fotos World Tour didn't just show up quietly. This thing has been breaking records since the first night. The tour kicked off on November 21, 2025 in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and from that very first show, it was clear that something historic was unfolding. In just 1 week after tickets went on sale, over 2.6 million tickets were sold. That's not a typo, 2.6 million tickets in 1 week. No Latin artist had ever done that before, not even close. The tour was originally planned as 24 shows and exploded to 57 dates because the demand was so overwhelming that there was no other choice but to keep adding nights. Arnhem was one of those cities where an extra date got added because the first night sold out so fast it felt like it happened in the blink of an eye. And it is not hard to understand why. Bad Bunny arrived at this moment in his career with everything stacked in his favor. The album Debí, Tirar más Fotos dropped in early 2025, and it hit like a wave that no one was ready for. It was deeply rooted in Puerto Rican culture, full of nostalgia, identity, and the kind of raw emotional storytelling that his fans had been craving. Then came the Super Bowl. On February 8, 2026, at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, Bad Bunny performed the halftime show at Super Bowl LX. And whatever you thought you knew about halftime shows before that night, what he did on that stage redefined the whole thing. There was controversy, there was spectacle, there was Lady Gaga. There was a moment where he covered one of her songs in a salsa version that nobody expected, and the internet couldn't stop talking about it for weeks. The backlash that some people tried to create only made more people curious, which only made more people stream his music, which only made this tour even more impossible to ignore. By the time the European leg of the tour began in Barcelona in late May 2026, the hype was completely off the charts. Every night in Spain sold out, Portugal sold out, Madrid had 6 nights, then 8 nights, and every single one of those nights sold out. When the tour hit Germany for 2 nights in Dusseldorf, the energy was already in a fever pitch. And then came Arnhem, 2 nights at GelreDome, both packed to capacity, both carrying that same unstoppable electricity that has followed this tour everywhere it has gone. Last night, June 23rd, was the first Arnhem show. Tonight, June 24th, was the second, and Bad Bunny, being exactly who he is, made sure the 2 nights were not the same. The core of the set list is consistent, yes. The production is massive every night, the LED screens shifting between Caribbean beaches in futuristic cityscapes, the lighting rigs doing things that look like they belong in a science fiction film, the crowd interaction moments that make 70,000 people feel like they're in the front row. But the exclusive song changes everything. It's the variable that makes every night its own story, its own memory that is irreplaceable. The fans who were in that building tonight, when the countdown started, they felt something shift in the room before the song even began. When that screen lit up with the message and the numbers started dropping, the crowd went silent in that particular way that only happens when people sense something special is about to occur. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then those first notes hit the air, and recognition spread through the stadium like a wave you could actually see moving through the crowd. People grabbed each other, people screamed. People who had been to multiple shows on this tour and had never heard La Difícil live before stood there completely stunned, realizing what they were witnessing. This was a full crowd of tens of thousands of people, united in a single moment of pure shock and joy, and there was nothing else like it in the world at that exact second. That is the thing about what Bad Bunny has built. It goes beyond music, beyond hits, beyond streaming numbers, which are already historic on their own. What he has done is create a live experience that operates on a different frequency than anything else happening in the entertainment world right now. Every night on this tour is its own chapter. Every city gets something personal. The The fans who were in that building tonight, when the countdown started, they felt something shift in the room before the song even began. When that screen lit up with the message and the numbers started dropping, the crowd went silent in that particular way that only happens when people sense something special is about to occur. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then those first notes hit the air, and recognition spread through the stadium like a wave you could actually see moving through the crowd. People grabbed each other, people screamed. People who had been to multiple shows on this tour and had never heard Difícil live before stood there completely stunned, realizing what they were witnessing. This was a full crowd of tens of thousands of people, united in a single moment of pure shock and joy, and there was nothing else like it in the world at that exact second. That is the thing about what Bad Bunny has built. It goes beyond music, beyond hits, beyond streaming numbers, which are already historic on their own. What he has done is create a live experience that operates on a different frequency than anything else happening in the entertainment world right now. Every night on this tour is its own chapter. Every city gets something personal, and the fans know this. They travel across countries. They save money for months. They stand in lines that start before sunrise. They do all of it because they understand that what happens inside those stadiums is not something that can be replicated or replaced. The exclusive song is the symbol of that entire philosophy. It is Bad Bunny saying to every city, tonight is yours. This moment belongs to you. Nobody else gets this. London is next. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on June 27 and 28, and everybody who is going to those shows right now is thinking the same thing. What is the exclusive song going to be? What is Benito going to pull out that nobody expects? That question is part of the experience now. It hangs over every show on this tour like a beautiful mystery that only gets resolved when the countdown hits 0 and the music starts. It could be anything from his entire catalog. It could be a deep cut from his earliest mixtape days. It could be a song nobody has heard live in years. It could be a collaboration, a cover, something completely unexpected. That is the magic of it. You do not know until you are there, and once you are there and it happens, you own that moment for the rest of your life. Arnhem got Difícil tonight. The Netherlands got their night, and in a few days, London will get theirs. The Debí, Tirar más Fotos world tour keeps moving, keeps surprising, keeps proving that nobody in the world is doing it at this level right now, not even close. Bad Bunny came to Europe because Europe came for him first, and he is giving every city exactly what it deserves, a night it will never forget. I would really appreciate your insights on this matter, so feel free to share your views in the comments. Additionally, remember to like, subscribe, and enable notifications to keep up with this story.